Trees are some of the most important and self-sufficient living beings on the planet, providing us with a wide range of benefits and food. Additionally, they are incredibly beautiful and diverse. However, as wonderful as they are, they can also cause significant harm, lead to accidents, and possess toxic substances in any of their structures, from roots to leaves, including poisonous fruits for which there is still no cure. Today, we will show you the most dangerous trees in the world. It is also known as nettles, due to the tiny hairs that give it its curious texture. These hairs, which may seem insignificant at first glance, release alkaline substances, specifically caustic liquid, causing pain and inflammation upon contact with the skin. It reaches a height of 1.5 meters, and its leaves are large and oval-shaped. Its geographical distribution is very wide, especially in Latin America, and it is known to be the plant with the most medicinal properties such as vitamins, minerals, alcohol, and sugars. The nettle tree is also known as urtica, due to those tiny hairs that give it its curious texture. The nettle tree is also known as urtica, due to those tiny hairs that give it its curious texture. It reaches a height of 1.5 meters and, among others, basically possesses anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, secretion-stimulating, and diuretic actions. Logically, it must be collected with gloves and at a specific time of the year as recommended by botanists, according to the ripeness of its segments, which can be roots, stems, or leaves. Angels' trumpets remind us of the beautiful and colorful talking flowers from Alice in Wonderland, looking downward like bells and emitting an irresistible fragrance at night that inevitably attracts the insects and bats responsible for their pollination. It is estimated that they have been used for their hallucinogenic properties since pre-Hispanic times, although their effects are so intense that excessive consumption can lead to death. Basically, this type of plant contains harmful alkaloids for humans and other animals, called neurotoxins, and there is currently alarming misinformation about their effects. These range from disorientation and hallucinations to seizures. Finally, authorities and botany experts have decided to protect the population by avoiding the trade and cultivation of this species and any others of the same genus. This plant is native to tropical Asia and was introduced to North America during the 1930s. The leaves are alternate and compound, giving them a feathery appearance, and can measure up to 12.5 centimeters long. The flowers closely resemble those of peas and can be white, pink, lavender, or even reddish. The long, flat, oblong pods follow the flowers and open when mature to reveal bright red seeds with a black spot, giving rise to the name crab's eyes. In some parts of the world, it is used to make home remedies for certain diseases, producing analgesic, neuroprotective, anti-diabetic effects, among others. It is a perennial herbaceous plant, and for many years, it was considered a special plant for causing poisonings, an idea that caught the attention of Cleopatra, who made her slaves ingest it to delve deeper into its aspects. It is classified as a shrub and can even resemble an ornamental plant, with its purple flowers and slightly fragrant cones. The real problem lies in its berries, tiny fruits with a bitter taste similar to cherries, which mature to a very dark color, like a shiny black. And those are the most toxic berries. It contains a high amount of alkaloids that, although they may not produce any predictable effect, have been determined to cause delusions and hallucinations. On the other hand, it was employed by the cosmetic industry some years ago when dilated pupils were considered sensual and attractive in women, until it was banned due to long-term consequences. Common yew is one of the oldest trees in Europe, with a lifespan ranging from 400 to 600 years, and has become the universal symbol of death and doom. Why is it considered one of the most dangerous species on the planet? Well, because virtually all parts of this tree are highly poisonous and release toxins that can be absorbed through the air and also through the skin by contact. So it has become one of the most common causes of poisoning and a decline in the number of wild and domestic animals. A small portion ingested of this plant is lethal for an average human. Unfortunately, there are no antidotes to counteract its poison, although medications have been used to alleviate symptoms. The bunya pine is a massive coniferous tree, classified as evergreen because its foliage remains the same throughout its life, and it can be found in various areas of Australia. It reaches an astonishing height of about 50 meters and is the sole survivor of an extinct genus of prehistoric trees, which were quite abundant in that era. Despite appearing completely harmless, it produces peculiar cones that can weigh up to 18 kilograms. Although these cones are not poisonous, they are extremely dangerous due to the long pine needles that fall heavily on unsuspecting people passing underneath or deciding to rest at the base of the bunya. Therefore, authorities have decided to put up special signs warning when it is cone season. This tree has a rather frightening name designed to keep people away from it. The suicide sting tree produces a potent neurotoxin that makes us feel like we've been stung by hundreds of spiders or scorpions. This has positioned it as one of the most poisonous plant species known in the world. The most impressive aspect is the durability of the injury. Although there are no records of human deaths from the suicide sting, the pain can persist from days to years. In the case of smaller animal species such as dogs or some others like horses, it can indeed be lethal. The infamous and feared strychnine tree, known as the poisonous fruit, is native to Asia. It grows in open habitats, and with a quite thick trunk, it can look completely harmless, even like a perfect species to decorate our gardens or the interior of our homes, which would be a catastrophic decision. It has been determined that inside its small, round, brightly colored orange fruits, there is a high source of strychnine and brucini alkaloids, including its flowers, making them entirely poisonous. Some species can tolerate them, such as fish and birds, but they are fatal to humans. Similar to the bottle tree, its poison was utilized to poison arrows and shoot enemies. Its existence has had to be regulated in many countries since it is mainly used to kill wild mammals and results in unfortunate accidents among the unaware population. However, there is a group of individuals who believe it could be an effective alternative medicine for cancerous diseases and severe heart conditions. Unfortunately, there is not enough evidence to support this information at the moment. Coconut palms have always been a popular monotypic palm species found on the shores of very sandy tropical beaches, such as those in the Caribbean or the Pacific Ocean. Highly prosperous and perfectly adapted to hot climates, their precise origin, whether from Asia or the Americas, is still unknown due to their widespread distribution and easy propagation. Fantastic uses have been discovered for their coconuts and pulp, from laxative, diuretic, to emollient effects. The rest of the coconut is commonly used to make accessories and souvenirs for tourists. Now, you may be wondering, how can it be one of the most dangerous trees in the world? Well, simply because of the most absurd reason caused by humans. Falling asleep under a coconut tree leaves us vulnerable to the falling of its fruits, which have a hard shell and fall so swiftly that they can easily end a human life unimpacted. In fact, although it may be hard to believe, the annual record of the International Shark Attack File indicates that at least people die each year due to being struck by a coconut. The bottle tree is endemic to the Republic of Namibia, also found in southern Angola, and is characterized by its distinctive appearance. As the name suggests, the bottle tree has a swollen trunk, almost devoid of branches until reaching the ends, which can reach up to 6 meters in height. It has prominent thorns of nearly 30 centimeters and oblong leaves covered in small fuzz. It is considered a complete threat to humanity because the toxins in its watery latex have been used to moisten spear tips and poison enemies. It is proven that contact with the eyes can cause almost immediate blindness. Despite its easy propagation and distinctive appearance, producing delicate white flowers, it is still commercialized as an ornamental species in semi-arid areas. Unfortunately, since it has almost no benefits for the population of Namibia, studies on the species are scarce or inconclusive and very limited. Therefore, the only thing we can ensure is that we should not get too close to these types of trees. And well, that's it for today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to share it with your friends and follow us for new curiosities every week. See you in the next one. Goodbye.